In this video, we are going to learn about multiplication of matrices. Okay. Now in this connection, let's first read what facts are given to us. Jack and Jill went to the market to purchase apple and oranges. Okay. So you have Jack and you have Jill, who went to the market to purchase apple and oranges. Jack purchased 12 oranges. Okay. So let's say oranges, apple, and 8 apples. And Jill purchased 16 oranges and 12 apples. Right? Now, the price of apple and orange was 5 per orange and 10 per apple. This is actually apple. Well, very good. So orange costs 5 and apple costs 10. Right? Now if you were to normally do the calculation, what will you do? You will multiply this orange by 5. This will give you 60, and you will multiply the number of apple purchased by 10. 80. You will add these two and you will get 140 as the answer. Similarly, if you were to compute the total cost for Jill, the oranges he purchased was 16. Cost of orange was 5 per orange. So you multiply this 16 by 5, you will get 80. Apple cost 10. So you multiply this by 10, 120. You get this by 200. Now, whenever you have to compute these calculations, you can also use matrix to do these calculations. Right? Now, how do you do that? So you will form a matrix wherein you will put down what did they purchase, the kinds of fruits they purchased. So what all did Jack purchase? Jack purchased 12 oranges and 8 apples. So this column represents the orange. This column represents the apple. And this is what Jack bought. Now if you go to Jill, how much did he buy? He bought 16 oranges and he bought 12 apples. So you can represent this information in the form of a matrix, the requirement matrix. Now if you see the price of orange is 5, apple is 10. Now this problem can also be solved through multiplication of matrices. Now if you notice, you have this particular matrix and this you have another matrix. So let's call this as matrix 1 and this as matrix 2. Now let's find out the order of these two matrices. The order of this matrix is 2 into 2, right? And the order of this matrix is 2 into 1. There are 2 rows, 2 columns here, 2 rows, 1 column here. So if you represent this as m into n, okay, here if you notice, this is n into p. We take this as n only. Why? The reason is that in order to multiply two matrices, it is important that the number of column in the first matrix, number of column in matrix 1 has to be equal to number of rows in matrix 2. If this is not the case, multiplication is not possible, right? And if that be the case, this n will become basically common in both these. Why? Because this is the rows, this is the column. The order of resulting matrix will be equal to m into p. So if you notice here, m basically was the number of rows in the first one and p is the number of column in the second one, right? So if you were to multiply these two matrices, how will you do that? Let's see. So the first element that we have here is 12. Okay, so you will take the first row and multiply it with first column. First row into first column, right? That's the way it works. Then how does it happen? 12 you will multiply with 5. So 12 into 5 is equal to 60 is going to be the first element of the product. Now product sorry, has to have the order m into p or 2 into 1, which means there are 2 rows and 1 column, right? Plus 8 into 10. What is 8 into 10? It is the second element of the first row into second element of the first element of the second row. Then you multiply first row with each of these elements just like you did it here. So 16 into 5 plus 12 into 10. If you do the summation, you get 60 plus 8 into 10 gives you 80. 60 plus 80 will be 140. 16 into 5 gives you 80 plus 120, 200. The order of the resulting matrix is 2 into 1. Right? But again, there is one very important point which you should note. Right? And what is that? That is, let's call this element as A11. Okay? So how do I know which element should I multiply this with? Okay, so which element do I multiply this with? Whether I multiply it with 5 or 10. Similarly, for 8, which is A12, which element do I multiply it with? Again, for 16, which is A21, which element do I multiply it with? For 12, which is A22, which element do I multiply it with? So normally, the way you move it is first element. So take the first element of this and first of this, then the second of this and second of this. Because the number of rows in this and the column in this are equal, you need to put in addition sums in between. Okay?